This is a tank point of view of Mythic Helya for the Chosen achievement. You can see a picture-in-picture of our combat log in the bottom left if you want to see the overall raid movement while you're watching this. The purple marker in the center is going to be where the main tank is. The melee moon marker is going to be where the melee is, and the X marker, the red X, is going to be where the ranged are. Also where the healers are. And that's where I stand as the second tank because the off tank always gets targeted. Immediately right here, you're going to see the ranged healers and the second tank move out of those slicers. It'll always target one range, one healer, and the off tank. And then while we're doing that, the melee are killing the ads that spawn from the breath. Then the second tank will taunt. And here's where you have to deal with tentacles. You want to stand in those brown puddles. While the tentacles are happening, the melee and the primary tank are going to have to move for their slicer, which happens right there. While I'm soaking the tentacle, then I move to the right to soak tentacles. There's all kinds of tentacles getting hit. If no one soaks them, it hits the entire raid for 6 million damage. Normally the boss would be phased at this point, but our DPS was a little slow, so we get an extra breath right here, which means we have ads to deal with right at the beginning of phase 2, but they have a trivial amount of health. We kill them really quickly, and then we move on to the top where we have to kill tentacles at the same time while handling ads. I send odd groups to go left and even groups to go right. Only interrupt these Mistwatchers if you're assigned to it. It does a raid-wide AoE once you interrupt, even though it's a trivial amount of damage, like healers can heal pretty easily. When you kill that Mistwatcher, you should be able to deal with the special mobs, the Grimelords and the Mariners. If you're tanking the Grimelord and you get targeted by the Anchor Slam, you want to move back as a tank so that it doesn't AoE people. You'll notice that DK is standing too close to the tank and he gets hit with it, but he has enough health to soak it at this item level. We kill these tentacles at the same time. The first tentacles, remember, are on the top left. That's why we started there. The next tentacles are in the bottom front. And these skeletal ads, you can ignore these completely. I'm just trying to AoE them a little. They fixate on people, so you can't get threat on them at all. While this is happening, one side will at random will get a Mistwatcher. They kill that, let them kill that, and then the other side should hold off on their tentacle. Then when they kill the Mistwatcher, you kill them together. You go back up. The third tentacle is going to be on the top front, which is back where the original tentacle was. Get it a little bit low. You don't have to go full tilt on it. You're just waiting for the Mistwatcher to spawn. As soon as the Mistwatcher spawns, you burn that down as quickly as possible. We won't even have to interrupt this. Then you handle your special ad. If it's low enough, the tentacles are low enough, you go ahead and finish those off, but make sure you finish them off at the same time. The give no Qwatah is something that everyone has to dodge. So you just have to watch the floor for that. And don't forget, if you are dealing with the Grimelord, if you get Fetid Rot, never run next to anyone. Instead of ticking at the end like it does on Heroic, it ticks constantly while it's on. We deal with the fourth tentacle here. We should have waited for the Mistwatcher to spawn because it'll barely spawn right as the phase starts. You see on the left of the screen. The ranged and the healers should be moving to the X right now, while the melee finish off this Mistwatcher so it doesn't keep getting cast off. And you'll see a corrupted orb slicer spawn on the right side of the screen right there. That targets all the ranged and the healers. It can target any of them, but it picks 3 of them at random. So then there's a breath that goes down to the center. The melee should not be relied upon to soak these swirls because they're getting hit by a slicer right there. So that means all the ranged and healers who didn't get targeted by the slicers have to soak that first set of swirls. While that melee slicer goes off, then we have another ranged and healer slicer right there. There's a healer out of position. He gets some people killed because he wasn't stacked on the X. And we stay stacked on the X, standing in the decay, because it's going to get washed away right there. And then the Mariner spawns. Sometime before the Mariner spawns, we pop Lust, and we want to burn that down quickly as possible. Then we're going to have another Corrupted Breath. And again, right after the Corrupted Breath, there's going to be a melee slicer, which happens during this. So you really want to rely on ranged to be soaking the swirl so people don't get mind controlled. As a Paladin tank, even with the debuff, I decided to soak some swirls only because I know I can bubble it off. And there's another range slicer. So healers and range have to be back on the X again. And at this point, the boss should be dead. We will get one more ad and we'll get one more breath. And there's another melee slicer. We will get another breath and ad, but we're going to be able to ignore both of those because she is practically dead. You do not ignore the first ad, no matter how low health she is, because if it gets that lantern cast off, it will kill people, and that loses the achievement for a lot of people it has in the past. So burn her down. Make sure you're in the positions that you're supposed to be, ranged and healers on X, and melee and healers on Moon. Good luck.